Okay, hi. Welcome again, everyone, to our webinar on how to save money on software development. Glad you could join us today. Webinar will take about 45 minutes, and after that, we will have time for a small Q&A session. So during the webinar, do not hesitate to ask any questions related to things we discuss. You can do this on in the chat feature just as we go, and we will come back to them after the presentation. Before we start, let's introduce ourselves. Anna, would you mind telling us more about yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Bober, and I have 18 years of experience in programming. Throughout my career, I've been involved in analyzing business needs, gathering requirements, coding, and implementing solutions. I've realized over 40 IT projects hands-on. 2 days ago, I celebrated my 6th anniversary of working in Polkad, initially as developer and for the last 2 years as a solution architect. My role combines the worlds of business and technology. I talk to visionaries, learn about their ideas and needs, and then translate those into the language of developers. I select the appropriate technologies and solutions to meet those requirements in the most optimal way. In the past 2 years, I have carefully planned and prepared over 30 projects to kickstart the development process. And doing this, I'm gathering many observations, which I am delighted to share with you today.
Thanks, Anna. Great to be here with you today.
Thanks for having me.
So a couple of words about me. My name is Jerzy Zawadzki, and I have been a web developer for the last 18 years. Also, during my career, my focus has been mostly on software as a service application, mostly B2B kind. And I'm currently the Chief Technology Officer here at Polkad. As a CTO, my role involves bridging the gap between the technology and the business. And also, I'm responsible for creating an environment for project development, fostering the growth of our team, and guiding our clients through the complex world of technology. So, Anna, are you ready?
Absolutely.
First of all, an important question needs to be answered. Why did we want to speak on this particular subject? And there are a couple of reasons to it. As you can see on our website, Polkad works with clients from many different industries on different types of projects, which may be on different stages and using different technologies. Since 2006, we have created more than 1,400 projects. And yes, every business is different, and there's no doubt about it. However, across almost all of them, we see definitely some common characteristics in terms where we can save money or time. We saw which actions made savings possible and ultimately what we should aim to achieve in, let's don't be afraid of this name, the perfect project. Beside that, the current not so easy market situation made subjects like this as important as ever. By implementing the pretty straightforward solutions we present during this webinar, you could potentially save even the lives of some businesses, especially in such uncertain times.
So, without further ado, let me show you what we have prepared for you today. We will be taking 3 steps. First, we'll discuss efficiency from a high level and business perspective and try to uncover ways to boost it. Next, we will delve into more technical areas and talk about specific steps that may be considered during product development. Finally, we'll focus on how to unlock potential and get the most out of collaborating with a software house like, for example, Polkad. We believe that only by combining these 3 areas, we will achieve clear benefits. And of course, we won't be talking only about money. Other important metrics may include time to market and the potential of further product growth.
But there's more. And we have a small surprise for you at the end. So make sure you stay with us during this time. And let's start with the first part Anna mentioned, which is boosting efficiency. In this segment, we have chosen for you 3 factors that, in our opinion, have the biggest impact on the project delivery process, and therefore on project budget, allowing for savings. And those are effective communication, prioritization, and risk mitigation. So let's delve into the first one, effective communication. And I really cannot stress enough how proper communication inside the team can save your money and sometimes whole projects. Most clients come to us suffer with some communication problems inside the team. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that this is a far more common reason for problems than technical difficulties. Why? Simply because IT is all about people. To achieve high goals, we need to work together. We need to communicate. When there's more people in the team, means that we have more communication paths. So what are attributes of good communication? And I see 4 main. Good communication is clear. Everyone in the team knows what we are aiming at. And I will give you a low-level example. In code review, I try to limit ambiguity as much as possible. So I try to limit things like I write that this code breaks solid rules. But instead, I will always mark specific lines, say which of 5 solid rules this code breaks and in what way. Good communication is honest about our goals and all the obstacles we may encounter doing this way. Good communication is open. We make sure that everyone inside the team can be heard. By using common language, we make sure that everyone speaks the same to prevent misconceptions. It may help to have something like a glossary with the most important definitions and acronyms the team is using. This language should be consistently used in all places, like tickets in project management system, in daily communication, and in the code. While talking about communication, we need to consider the fact that most of us are working remotely right now. We are not in the same room, city, country, sometimes not even in the same zone, in the same time zone. And that, of course, affects how we should communicate. As Polcode, we are a remote-first company since our beginning. So we have developed such a culture and tools for work in such an environment. From our point of view, most important factors to make remote communication work are, first of all, it should be asynchronous by default. So do not rely on live meetings, but instead of, proper collaboration tools should be used, like task management system, knowledge management, like Confluence. But remember that you should limit tools that you are using to only necessary. Make sure that documentation is there, available from everyone, anytime. And last but not least, have the single open communication channel to support those attributes of communication I talked earlier. All that helps with keeping knowledge inside the team.
The first test of our communication is the discussion about requirements. When talking about it, we often hear how to build an app. But at this stage, it's important to focus on why we are doing the task, who is it for, and what we want to achieve. We shouldn't forget that requirements should be negotiable, allowing specialists the flexibility to make the right decisions during development. With well-defined business needs, we focus on delivering business value, avoiding wasting time and money on excessive or unnecessary implementations. When we look back a few years ago at the traditional approach, well-defined scope was a must-have. Even now, our clients often provide us with very detailed instructions on how every small element of the system should work. Based on these requirements, we determine the time and budget, which most often is unacceptable to the client. Moreover, during development, additional factors may arise, sometimes directly from the market, which extend the timeline and consume more and more money. We suggest reversing this process. Let's talk about main goals, focus on the budget, and deliver the solution in the shortest possible time. With minimum scope, implement only what's necessary to test the product or start earning from it. We will spend less and deliver a product that might not be perfect, but it will certainly be sufficient. At the end of this journey, we all want to deliver a valuable product. We want to work towards the same goal, discuss tasks, approaches, and solutions. I'm sure that we will talk more about this later, but now let's dive into another important piece of boosting efficiency. That's prioritization. While setting goals, let's focus only on those that will yield the highest benefits with lower effort and sort them appropriately. Be frugal. Don't do what you don't need, even if sometimes you really want it. If you wonder what to choose for the app, the best way is to listen to your users. Remember that starting with minimum viable product, MVP, is enough. Mind here Pareto law. 80% of functionality are usually not used by SaaS users. Of course, to know what requirements are the most important, we need strong analysis in many aspects. It's not easy, but there are many tools and exercises to help you with it. Together with our clients, we develop a problem statement, define personas, and describe their journey through the application. We do many things visually, creating models and prototypes before the first line of code is written. All of this is to save as much coding time and money as possible. That's why in the initial phase of unique products, we offer product workshops. Following the first deployment, the verification process of delivered value begins. If we prepare the MVP properly, it will be easier to implement subsequent changes and support the product growth. This phase is critical to ensure that the product meets its intended goals and delivers the expected value to the users. It's during this time that feedback is gathered, evaluated, and then used to guide the future development and refinement of the product, allowing for continuously improvement and adaptation to user needs.
Thank you, Anna. You really well discussed how we can save money during product development. Now I will try to add a bit of dark side of this, so we don't lose money instead. So let's talk about risks. We come to the last part in boosting efficiency segment: risk mitigation. Risk mitigation is critical aspects of business and organizational management. It involves identifying potential risks and implementing measures to reduce or eliminate them. By proactively managing them, business can avoid or minimize the negative consequences that can result from unexpected events or situations. But in our opinion, the first step of it should always be to encourage a risk-aware culture. What does it mean? It's to educate and learn, to communicate, and to encourage individual responsibility about risks. As you can see, it's mostly connected with communication mentioned earlier, but we still tend to avoid speaking about risks. And there's one side of it, which in my opinion is specific to development. As programmers, we are taught to avoid risks, to play safe, to identify issues, and basically scream whenever we see problems on the horizon. And in my opinion, this may be really counterproductive and even block development of the product. It's really important to understand the risks and choose a proper mitigation strategy, which we'll talk about in a minute. And with this, it really helps to have a proper risk register created. Such a risk register usually consists of 6 elements. Risk description, which is pretty much what we are afraid of. Probability, so how likely this may happen. impact, how big impact it will have on our business, severity, which I will discuss in a minute, owner, who is assigned to manage specific risk, and, as I said, most importantly, mitigation strategy. And there are at least a couple of typical mitigation strategies, and avoidance, mentioned before, is only one of them. We also have strategies like accepting risk, so pretty much do nothing and let it be. Controlling, or we can transfer the risks. But I think the goal is that proper prioritization of risk based on severity and choosing correct mitigation strategy can again save your money. So I mentioned severity. So a couple of words about this. This column and this value should be calculated based on the two columns that come just before it, impact and probability. Long story short, risk has low severity if probability or impact is low. On the other side of the scale, if impact and probability are high, we should mark risk as severe. And our mitigation strategy should reflect the severity of specific risk. I wanted to give you an example of the risk that is sometimes overlooked, bus factor. Bus factor is minimum number of team members that have to suddenly disappear. For example, were hit by the bus, hence the name, from a project before the project stalls due to lack of knowledgeable or competent personnel. So if the team has a bus factor of 1, means if a specific person suddenly goes away, then the project will stall. You can imagine how bad it is and should be at the top of your risk register. Note here that this metric may refer to the whole project, but also even on to a single module or aspect of the project development, like, let's say, marketing. We can make this number higher by avoiding assigning specific modules to specific people and or knowledge sharing inside the team, by having documentation and quality assurance team from the beginning, from the day one. This makes higher investments from the start. However, in the long term, you will save money, because maintaining a high bus factor should really be critical and is really critical for any business.
Thanks, Jerzy, for this example. Yes, bus factor is a big risk, and the easiest way to avoid it is a team play. Let's see what we've got here in this area. I was talking about agile, but this is an idea, a concept, not a tool. But it's a good time to sum it up. So take a look at our everyday tool, Scrum. This is a framework founded on empiricism and lean thinking, with 3 pillars of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. We have roles here that facilitate communication and mutual understanding. That's product owner and Scrum Master. And of course, developers. All of them make a cohesive unit of professionals focused on one object at a time, the product goal. They are self-managed and cross-functional, sharing the same values: commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. We constantly have the business goal in mind and a roadmap that leads to it. We take small steps towards the goal and verify them regularly. This way, we don't waste time and money on big mistakes, and we learn from the small ones to make each subsequent iteration more accurate. In the end, there is always a list of unfinished things. These are features that were initially defined as necessary, but ultimately turned out to be quite unnecessary. Things without which the product works and is capable of generating revenue. All this helps to prevent misunderstandings, rework, and unnecessary expenses. But it only works if every aspect from the list above is taken care of.
Great. Thanks, Ada, for this summary. And I think we are ready to move on to the second part, which we called exploring what lies beneath. That is more technical areas that may be considered during product development. And here we again have three chosen aspects: architecture, ecological approach to software development, and wide spectrum of automation. Let's start with architecture. But a small disclaimer is needed here. We won't gonna cover every aspect of money-saving architecture. We could probably do another 1 or 2 hour webinar strictly about this topic. I wanted to focus today on one part of the architecture that is often overlooked, which is flexibility. In my opinion, this part of architecture can save you a lot of time and money done correctly, but on the other hand, done poorly, not only you will not save anything, but you can actually lose even more. Good architecture allows you to be flexible. And we can discuss many flavors of it, but basically this means you can change your system as the market is changing. This may refer to, for example, scalability, to be able to transform your solution to handle more users, or adaptability, so allowing for easy adaptation to changing requirements and functionality. But let's make it clear: situation will change, and your system will need to adapt. It's not a question if, it's about how soon and in what degree. Good architecture allows you to do it. So where's the catch? Catch is that the flexibility always comes with a price. If we would like to make every part of the system configurable and every single code extensible to prepare our code base to every possibility of change that may happen, we would end up with a system that's basically unmaintainable. Its size and complexity would shortly become a stopper of your business. And I can assure you that most of the code written for such cases would never be used. So the solution here is to build in the flexibility only where it's crucial from the business perspective. Sometimes what we can see is that business owners come to us, and when we discuss what we should build in that flexible way, we hear everything. And we know where it comes from the simple desire to have the most elastic solution. But flexibility of code is not the only way. If you are not building an open software, then a much better solution than building this flexibility inside would be to make the solution simple and easy to change.
Look, here we have only a few examples of solutions that are ready to use in custom projects. The choice of solution and architecture depends on, of course, on the scope, but in many situations also on the budget. One can opt for ready-made tools and focus on their configuration during development at the cost of higher technical debt. This allows for a quick market response. As a result, we will not pay a lot for potential glitches, and we will develop a working application model. However, it should be taken into account that the technical debt will have to be repaid. But in the final analysis, such a working model is cheaper and more efficient. Knowing the business goals and budget, we can suggest ready-made market solutions that may not be very comfortable, maybe, but will be sufficient to move forward. Not everything needs to be tailor-made in the initial phase of the project. In that case, we will focus on configuration rather than development, saving time on things that are less important from a business perspective. And I think Jerzy has a perfect example for such a case.
Yes, I have. And what's best? It's not IT related. Let's say, let's pretend we are the owners of the food truck and we have cold beverages on our menu. Pretty much, I think every food truck has ones. So we serve them in such paper cups, just like you see on the screen. And in IT, but not only, we defined product quality by measuring 4 aspects. First, does it meet the requirements? So let's discuss. Does this solution meet our requirements? And I think, yes, you can drink from it. It's good here. Second, was it done in time and in budget? So let's talk about cost. Yes, this is a pretty cheap solution, not doubt about it. Is it efficient in the specific environment, which is part 3? And here again, I think yes. The answer is yes. This is the light, so customers of our food truck can take it to go, which is also good. And last part, but definitely not least, is it easy to adapt to changing requirements? And let's think about what can be such a change. So I think about only one, that we may want to serve hot beverages also. So does it mean we should serve them in ceramic cups from the beginning? This is definitely more expensive solution. We would definitely need to charge our customers more or make some deposit for cups or something like this. But there's a better solution: paper sleeves that goes on the cup so people can handle hot contents. And this is also good because it's a better solution because it's also cheap and it's good in our environment, which is to go, so it's also light. As Anna said just moments ago, it may not be very comfortable. Ceramic cups would definitely look better. However, it's sufficient to move forward.
Thanks, Jerzy. This example shows that we need to well understand what we want to make money on and what matters to our users. But when talking about resources, we cannot avoid the infrastructure and its maintenance. And here, the issue of environmentally friendly usage of these resources also comes to play. For example, monolith architecture is like keeping all the lights on in a mansion even when you're only using one room, wasting energy when a simple targeted solution would be enough. As a replacement, serverless architecture is a source of light in that one room you're using. In this case, being eco-friendly leads us directly to savings. You should always think how to reduce, especially in the area of requirements, reuse using ready-made solutions, which I mentioned a moment ago, and recycle. For example, writing modular code using open source libraries and design patterns, and regularly review and refactor the code base to improve its quality and maintainability. We often hear that cloud solutions can be costly, but they don't have to be if you plan carefully. By thinking through and planning your approach, you can actually save money with cloud services. I recall a project from a charitable foundation that collects and provides free access to data on medical centers, specifically the most relevant information for parents seeking help for their children. As we know, infrastructure maintenance costs are paramount for clients like this. Initially, the infrastructure maintenance plans were significant, amounting to a certain budget per year. However, through careful planning and selecting suitable services, we managed to significantly reduce the current cost, bringing it down by 75% of the original annual budget.
That sounds impressive. So, of course, while discussing saving money opportunities, we cannot omit every little and not so little automation. That what we can do to limit the need for manual work. But please remember that the time saving here is not the only benefit. Sometimes it's worth to automate some, for example, error-prone process, like something that consists of multiple steps. Or another example, we need to make something regularly, like after every deployment. In that case, by automating it, we don't really need to remember about it. So what do we automate at Polcode? Starting from the local developer environment, making sure that developers can run apps locally as fast as possible, usually after running a single command. Tools like Docker really helps to achieve this goal. Make sure that not only we run the app itself, but also all of its dependencies, like database or anything like this here, but also fill it with some data upfront to make it really easy to test on this local environment. Continuous integration, tests, continuous deployment, and monitoring are now practically standard in every project, and tools are widely available. It's really easy to set it up. But make sure you have correct notifications in those tools set up if anything goes wrong. And so you can remember the open communication, make them team-wide, not to the single person. One of the interesting aspects for me personally that we automate are code reviews. Solutions that use static analysis of the code can automatically find places to improve in your code base, especially in statically typed languages. Some of them are extensible, and this is what we are using to enforce custom rules specific for the project. Side note here, really important side note: do not omit code review completely, even when you have automatic tools. Tools won't check correct and clear domain naming we discussed before. Beside that, code review is also a great teaching opportunity and has a project-related knowledge sharing aspect, which may increase your buzz factor. And last, a cherry on top, embrace new technologies like tools using artificial intelligence. We can use tools like GitHub Copilot as sidekick for developer, and large language models, which are popular right now, like GPT, to make easier data analysis or creating big number of test data. As we discuss technical aspects of product development that can save money, we propose many different tools and practices that can help you with it. However, at the end of this segment, I would like to emphasize the importance of using such tools wisely. With great power comes great responsibility. So make sure that you are using only those tools that are really needed, and make sure that they are really helping the team and not slowing them down. And we got into the last of our 3 segments, which is called unlocking potential. We wanted to show you how to unlock additional hidden potential, how managed IT services may bring you significant savings, and what virtues you should be looking for while choosing your technical partner. And as before, we split this into 3 parts: gathering knowledge, setting up the team, and assuring business continuity and growth. At the beginning of every corporation, the most crucial part is gathering knowledge about the product you will work with such technical partner. Companies that comes to us have products on different stages, like I mentioned before, some yet to be built, some already existing ones. As we discussed, close cooperation between the development and technical teams is crucial. Therefore, your partner should know and understand your business as much as possible. And there are multiple questions that can be related to every part of the product that we need to have answers to, so we are able to make proper decisions later together, such: what is the goal of the software? What problem does it solve? Who are the users? What is the current state of the software? What development skills are needed? What should be our priorities in terms of development? By asking the right questions and getting a clear understanding of the product, we can make informed decisions and ensure that our clients get the best outcome. We have developed a specific set of tools that we are using to really understand the problem we are facing, and moreover, help our customers understand it better. Anna, could you share some of such tools that we are using?
Certainly. The first and most fundamental tool I mentioned before is the use of workshops. These collaborative sessions help us understand our clients' needs and goals while identifying potential areas for cost savings and efficiencies in the software development process. Then we employ onboarding methodologies, which include conducting audits. These audits help us assess the current state of the project and identify any potential improvements or optimizations. By doing so, we ensure a smooth transition and integration of new solutions, ultimately saving time and money during software development. And the last, but definitely not least, the proper selection of specialists. By choosing experts with the relevant skills and experience, you can ensure the highest level of expertise and efficiency, resulting in cost saving and a high quality of end products. And of course, we know our people best because from the very beginning, their skills and competencies are at the forefront. We have discovered a way to set up a team in a manner that places the utmost priority on maintaining and improving competencies. Firstly, we ensure that our recruiting process includes not only technical skills, but also soft skills to ensure that we are bringing on board well-rounded individuals. Once a new team member joins us, we have a comprehensive mentoring system in place to help them integrate and thrive within the team. We start by verifying their current skills and identify areas for development. From there, we work together to create a tailored development plan to help them grow both professionally and personally. We maintain a list of skills in our internal tools so we can match the right people to the right project tasks. We encourage our team members to take ownership of their own development by providing them with resources and support. This includes training days and access to industry standard certifications. And certifications are a visible confirmation of the continuous development of our team.
So what does it all give you? The team tailored to your needs. The team can include software developers, designers, project managers, quality assurance specialists, and other relevant roles, depending on the specific project requirements. The team members will have the necessary skills, experience, and expertise that align with the project goals and objectives. And such team can be set up much faster than building it by yourself. We discussed unlocking potential in terms of gathering knowledge and the close cooperation between you and technical partner. We discussed setting up the team. Let's talk about the third part, which is about direct influence to your business, which we have called business continuity and growth. Technical partner and you should have the common goal, business success. In our opinion, there are two phases of it, two key elements of cooperation. First would be reducing risks, therefore ensuring business continuity. And the second one is the maximizing potential for growth. So what we are assuring on those two aspects. On maintaining business security, we assure easy staffing for absences. So for whatever reason they may happen. We assure this by proactive maintenance of your application to make sure that your application and your software is always up to date with all the libraries and frameworks updated, by giving you technical support, which is also important when you have the project live and on production. We keep all the projects with our internal good practices, which we gathered during all those years. And by keeping documentation up to date, you probably remember the buzz factor, which we can handle that way. On the other side, as I mentioned, we have ensuring business growth by expanding team and possibility to expand your team if needed. So whenever you need to give a boost for your development, technical partner can expand the team. We can help with examining of your current process to make sure that it really help you to move forward and to grow your business. We can validate your product roadmap with all those tools that Anna mentioned before. And of course, ensuring business growth wouldn't be without removing any technical obstacles in code, in low-level code. And last, by assuring system scalability, so it handle growth of your user base. But as a summary, I need to emphasize that it all won't be possible to do without one thing: our experience which we have gathered during our 17 years in business, that gives us understanding what are typical problems, how to approach those, how to assess and approach risks, how to create flexible yet simple architecture, and with what tools, and of course how to save money on software development. So Anna, would you like to sum up what we have learned on our webinar today?
Of course. We have discussed today 3 levels of possible savings. On a business level, where you can take advantage of software methodologies like Scrum to help your team stay on track. We addressed here the issue of unnecessary costs resulting from poor communication, task overload, or improper prioritization, and lack of project risk management by focusing on this area. Then, on a technical level, where by creating a healthy architecture of your software, additionally powered by tools and automations, you can achieve technical superiority. And finally, by interactions with your technical partner using their experience to unlock hidden potential and go beyond. Of course, this depends on the specific case. We have been speaking in very general terms about our experiences, but each project is unique and requires individual adaptation. It seems that Jerzy has the perfect solution for this particular situation.
Yes, the bonus I mentioned at the beginning, which is a personal one-on-one free consultation with one of us, during which we can discuss, for example, where you can find potential savings in your project, in your specific situation, what obstacles you encountered, and basically how you can move your project to the next level. After the webinar, you will receive an email from me with all the necessary details to get this bonus.
All right, we've reached the end of our presentation, but that doesn't mean we're done just yet. It's time to open the floor for your burning questions. I saw that we had some of them before, so maybe I will read it, and we have also answers written here. How big is the Polcode development team? So we have more than 100 professionals on board. And next one, how many projects are your team currently working on?
That's a good question. We have many projects in different technologies.
So all attendees will be able to schedule.
Yeah, this is.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is about our communication after this webinar. So maybe someone has another question.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
From someone.
So what should I do if I ever turns out that the specialist selected is not the right one in the course of the project? Do you have an idea, Jerzy?
Yeah, of course. Just talk to us. Simple as that. We always strive to make team members as good fit as possible for specific projects. But of course, if such situations would happen, we would normally assess the situation, what's the reason behind it? Is it due to lack of skills, poor communication, or just misaligned expectations between parties? So I would probably repeat myself, but it's important to have clear and open and honest communication with both you and the team members. We will resolve based on the outcome of the discussion. We can either develop some of their skills, by example, assigning the mentor, which Anna mentioned, or sometimes, of course, find a replacement if that's the case.
Thanks. This is another one. What are the development costs, ballpark ranges?
That's a great question. Yeah. that we can answer on the consultation part on the buns. Yes. So just respond to our message for you, and we'll discuss it closely there.
It all depends to what I mentioned before during our presentation, because every project is different, the skills of developers are different, and the solution is different for every project. So the costs are different as well.
Yeah, we don't like to answer. It depends, but
yeah. Sorry, but it really depends. Talking about communication, how to encourage honest communication if team members are reluctant to share failures, but rather expect recognition for success.
Who starts? Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, communication, and I think this safe environment really plays important role here, because and in such cases really works leading by example. So as a tech leader, I will always share my own setbacks and challenges that I have with my team, so all can see, right? It's okay to discuss failures and learn from them. We always appreciate constructive criticism and avoid blaming individuals by focusing, and we are focusing on finding the solution rather than assigning fault.
Yeah, we are learning anytime, and we are taking care of each task to be the best. And I mentioned before that we are doing small steps with demos to the client. So at this time, every demo is a smooth communication between development team and business visionaries. So I think having this, we can avoid a lot of mistakes. Okay, so we've got next. You said a lot about the methods and stuff, but can you share some more details? I mean, can you provide specific amounts? How much money can I really save using the methods you described? That would be great to hear. Thank you.
Yes, someone also responding to the information that was 50% of savings there was on the communication before the webinar. I try to limit the answers that it depends really much, but I will try to answer this. And the bigger project, the bigger the savings. And in the most as much as we implement those changes to the process and to the technologies, we can save more. However, for the medium-sized projects, when they come to us and on different stages, either we have new projects and we have other quotes we see already done, or let's say almost done projects that with problems came to us, and we to see how long it took, we can say basically there could be savings up to 50% of project time following those rules. So basically, you can do project twice as fast, right? The biggest will be from this. The specific numbers would be on the infrastructure cost, which by using serverless we can limit. For example, serverless and other methodologies, and the most of them secondary are from the having the correct scope. As we mentioned earlier, 80% of functionalities are not used by users. So this is direct number. What we can say by simply good prioritization.
And of course, in the past, we did very fixed projects, and we shouldn't talk about mistakes, but I think that we have this experience that working like this with fixed scope, we always had been over the budget. So keeping all the scope always puts something unexpected to our way. So there is no saving in this part of development.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. I think we went through all.
We've got one more. Do we have time for this?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
While changing my current service provider, can Polcode manage to work on my existing code base, or do you only work on new projects? If you have a choice, would you prefer working on writing code from scratch, or it doesn't matter? I think, Jerzy, it's a perfect question for you.
yes, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, from
enthusiast, really.
Yes, I really,
code.
It's good to have like answer for this, because as a programmer, programmers usually like to start from scratch, right? However, I'm a bit different from it, because I always like to see the code which have already have been created, because the code has always have a potential, and this code, I know that this code bringed our customers money. So it worked. It may not be perfect, it may not be beautiful, but it worked. It pretty much get the job done. From my perspective, my job is to get this on the next level, because sometimes it's the state of the code really stop the development. I don't want to use the legacy word here, but really stop this. And we can work with both, right? We can work on the new ones and the existing ones. As Anna mentioned before, we have specific tools like code audits to make sure that we know everything. Because for us, when we say to our customers, yes, we can work with that code, we want to be 100% sure that we have access to all of it, that it's in the technologies that we have skills currently on our team. So we are 1% sure that we are able to move it to the next level. So by just stepping a bit back and see it from the perspective, it all makes the difference and makes possibilities to work with existing code. Anna, would you like to add something? Or I think
no, I think it's all for today.
Okay, so I will just repeat that after the webinar, you will receive an email from me with all the necessary details. But also feel free to contact me on directly, or via email, or through our LinkedIn profiles. So I would like to thank you for today, for being with us today for pretty much 1 hour. It was pleasure to have you, and see you on the next webinar.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.